What's up, everyone? This is Tech Trooper 64, and today we have a debate going on with me and my friend here.
Hi, I'm Jonas. I'm the Potato Overlord.
And today we're going to be having a discussion about double standards between men and women. There are 7 of them from a website called All Women's Talks that we're going to be going through them, and we're going to discuss them. Now, before we go through this, we would just like to say that all of these 7 examples, we didn't go through them yet, so you're going to be as surprised as we are, and yeah, that's just how we're going to go. Jonas is going to start with the first one, and it has to do with men, and the next one I'll do. Yeah. Here it is.
So, issue number 1 is men are pressured of making the first move in a relationship or anything, really. Why is that a thing? Like, why can't women make the first move in a relationship? Wouldn't that be acceptable in society?
That would be pretty acceptable and even fair to a certain extent, because the thing is, even in high schools and universities and colleges, I saw a comic once on Tumblr that said that it would show a guy and a girl talk, and then 20 years later they talk again, and then they're like, oh, I liked you back then. And then the guy's like, well, why didn't you say anything? And then the girl said, well, it's because it's not proper for the lady to make the first move. And it's like, think about all the possibilities. And if you guys are in a class, junior high, high school, whatever, look around your class and just think like any of those girls or guys could be your true love, and it maybe could be. And the thing is, because of this standard that men have to do the first move, those relationships can never happen. And I agree with what Joda says. It'll make a better society if it's like that. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it could make a better society, but it's unfair that, like, women are pressuring men to make the first move. Because it's like, women could have a crush on a man, but the man could not like that woman, and if she's just sitting there waiting for him to make the first move, like, he could just be friendly. And that's another issue that a lot of people have, is that like men can be friendly towards women or women can be friendly towards men, and it's really perceived as flirting nowadays, which again is a really big downfall in today's society.
I think that's pretty fair to say. So on that topic, just for a last note before we head to the next one, I guess, we both agree that it should be changed, right?
Yeah.
So, on to the second topic, which I'll be starting. And this one is about how women must be always clean and organized, and that there can be no such thing as a lady that can be all unorganized or not as clean as maybe a man can, something like that. But that's what it is. And it's always related to how, like, girls are always related to the whole go in the kitchen and clean or do something, right? And this is a standard that I find kind of, excuse me for my language, but I find it kind of bullshit. Like, it's really dumb, because like me, for example, personally, I like cleaning. Like, it's kind of, I would call it a hobby. Like, if something's not clean, I would like to clean it. I don't mind cleaning. That's the thing. But you don't see me being a girl, right? So it can happen with any gender. What do you have to say about that, Jonas?
I guess it's not really only like household chores, it's like physical appearance as well. I mean, a guy can walk around in a baggy sweats and sweatshirt with greasy ass hair, and it's perfectly fine. But when women do it, they tend to be perceived as slobs. And I find that really annoying, because sweats and sweatshirts are my life. I wear a lot of them. And yeah, some days I'll be too lazy to take a shower that night, and I'll just come to school the next day with greasy hair. It doesn't really matter to me, so why should it matter to other people?
That is a very good point, because why does it matter? Like, we're not trying to impress the world. We're not trying to impress everybody. It's just, I don't know. It's always been something that's kind of been on the back of my mind, and, good that we're talking about it today. So what do you think is the verdict for this double standard here?
I think it's complete bullshit.
And that it should be eradicated. Anyway, so that's the last note on that. And now Jonas will be reading off the third double standard we got going on here. So here it is.
Why is it that men and women cannot be friends without people thinking that they're in a relationship? Seriously. What is with that? Like, half of my friends are male. Like, I grew up with 4 older brothers, and most of the kids in the complex that I was living in when I was younger, they were male. So I was surrounded by males growing up. So I connect with male gender better than I do with the female gender sometimes. I'm not saying that, like, I don't have any female friends. I do. I have a lot of them. But is that really a thing that men think, that if a guy and a girl hang out a lot, that, like, they're dating?
Well, in my personal experience, it has happened a lot, so many times. I obviously, I won't say the name, of course. I had this one friend 2 years back, I think. And we used to hang out everywhere, all the time. Everywhere you'd see us together, just hanging out, just friends. And then a whole bunch of people in our gym class would always tell us that we're dating or that we should kiss or something like that, or go on a date or get a room or something like that. Just those little comments. But it's a good example now is like me and Jodas. We're very close friends, but we're not a couple or anything. You don't see us kissing in the hallways or anything. We're just friends. And I think it should just be a normal thing. Where did this even start? Like, I don't even understand where this came from. Like, it's kind of ridiculous, wouldn't you say?
It's very ridiculous. Like, I just want to hang out with my male friends and not be accused of dating them. Like, my own best friend, like my best friend of 8 or 9 years is a male, and even my own parents think that we're dating. So I just want to hang out with him. Like, yeah, I love the kid to death and everything, but I don't want to date him. He's a brother to me.
Okay, so that's pretty fair to say. And obviously, from what you guys can hear from us, we honestly think this theory is kind of bullshit and that it should be eradicated, just like the last one. So let's head on to the fourth one, which I'll be talking about. The fourth one is kind of a sensitive topic, so before I continue with it, I just want to say this might be sensitive for some people. Domestic violence. And I don't know very much about domestic violence, so I'm just going to read verbatim what's on the screen. Domestic violence is a serious ongoing problem that has affected many individuals, which is why it is never taken lightly. Many men are put in jail as punishments for raising their hands on women, but nothing seems to happen when a woman decides to project their anger on a male. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem that much of a problem when the roles are reversed, and that's not right. Okay, so now I kind of understand. So what they're trying to say, according to the article, is that when a guy hurts a woman, like hits her physically or even abusive verbally, he can get in jail, he can get in big trouble for it. But when a woman does it to a guy, she can do it without any penalty. And that's what they're referring to. And I'm not saying that everywhere there's no penalty, but I'm saying like majority of the time there is no penalty because most people just assume guys like it. So what do you have to say about that, Jodas?
Really, all I have to say is that we should stop laughing at men that are abused because it happens just as often as women. Like, you don't really understand it, or you don't really see it all that often, but it does happen, and it's in the most subtle ways that it still hurts and it still affects them. Calling a woman a bitch because she had a sudden anger spurt, that's kind of acceptable in today's society, but it shouldn't be. But calling a man a pussy for something that he has no control over, like his emotions or his anxiety, if he has anxiety for like asking out a girl, for example, going back to the first one, that's just really sad, and people laugh at stuff like that, which really shouldn't be an issue. Everybody should be faced with the same punishment if they do certain things. So if you're abusing someone, and if it's whether it's a male being abused by female, or male being abused by male, or females being abused by males, or females being abused by females, they should all have the same consequences. And the fact that it doesn't is just sad and wrong, in my opinion.
And it's a bit frustrating. Yeah, that's what we have to say about that topic. And now on to the next part, which she will indulge you in. So here we are.
Single status in the late 30s. Oh my god. Okay, I relate to this personally because, one, I don't want to get married, and two, I don't want to have any children. Yeah, if I'm in a relationship, and yeah, if the guy somehow manages to change my mind, which probably won't happen, yeah, I'll do it. But women are perceived as, and I honestly hate this because my parents are always asking me, hey, are you gonna have any children when you're older? And yeah, sometimes I do kind of seem to be interested in stuff like that, but I'm not. And I don't want to have any children. I'm absolutely terrified of having children. So it's like me being a single person in my late 30s, which is probably gonna happen. So, Tech Trooper, what's your opinion on this?
Well, see, I'm not really educated in this part. Like, this is one thing I've never heard of, or, well, I maybe have. I don't know. It's just not something I can relate to. So the single status in the late 30s, if that's truly something that is a big topic, from what I've heard already, it's something that is stupid, just like the other double standards. And, you know, we're not going to spend this whole time saying every double standard is stupid, but I'm saying that it is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Like, yeah, when you reach a certain age, you're supposed to have a family. You don't have to. Like, look at me. I don't care. I have no plans / no interest in having a family in the future at all. So, yeah, there you go. It's a perfect example. Anyways, so yeah, I think we're just going to conclude on that note for that one, and we're going to move on to the next one. Well, the next one is number 6, and that is cheating. Oh, this is a big one. Okay, so this is actually something that doesn't bring me any joy to say this, but I'm kind of experienced in. Going back to relationships, men are considered to be jerks when they lose the trust of their women. However, when it is announced that it is the other way around, women begin to justify their actions by saying that they are neglected and unloved ones in the relationship. So, cheating. I've been cheated on. Total of, see, 3 or 4 times. Let me tell you, I hated it. Trust me, it's a horrible feeling to be cheated on, and then they rub it in your face after because they tell you about it. It's hard to hear it and it's hard to experience it. And I know I'm not the only one out there who has been cheated on. It hurts. It really does. And when it's the other way around, regardless if it's a guy cheating on a girl or a girl cheating on a guy, it doesn't matter. It's wrong. It's all the way wrong. It's just mind-boggling that it's just ignored on one gender side than the other. It's wrong regardless on who's doing it to what or what's happened. Cheating is wrong. Wouldn't you agree, Jodas?
I mean, if people aren't allowed to cheat on exams at school, why are people allowed to cheat on other people? It's wrong. And hopefully I'm never gonna have the experience of being cheated on, because I would feel devastated if I did. Like, it just sounds so horrible. If somebody loves you or doesn't like you enough to be with someone else or have you off their mind long enough to be with someone else, then that's not really somebody you should be with. You should just find someone better. I mean, right?
Truer words have never been spoken. Honestly, again, if anybody out there is even thinking about cheating on their significant other, just stop. Just stop your mind from thinking that and just don't about that. I recently read an article, a story even, about this, and it's not something that you should be doing. Like, it's just straight out wrong. And if you're going to go with it anyways, just think about what the other person's feeling right now. You spent all that time telling each other how much you love each other, and it'll be eternity that you guys will be together, and that it'll take the greatest force for you guys to separate. You cheat on them and it's over. It hurts. It really does. So anyway, we're just going to end it off on that note.
I actually had something about the cheating thing. Men or women, doesn't matter. If somebody cheats on you, do not go back to them. They're just going to continue doing it. And you don't want that in your life. You want to be in a healthy relationship with someone. And that's all that really matters, is whether the relationship is healthy or not. So if they cheat on you, do not, under any circumstances, go back, because they're just going to continue doing it.
And we're going to go to the next one, which Jodas is going to introduce as our 7th and last one. Jodas?
I guess we're going to be going on to the final one, which is dating experience. Oh my god. This topic is heavy. Say, for example, I have had 10 boyfriends in the past 6 months, and my friend here has had 10 girlfriends in the past month. One of us would be considered a slut, and it would most likely be me, because I'd be considered the person that just has no emotion in relationships and goes from one person to another. But the man would be congratulated on having achieved 10 girlfriends in 6 months. That would be one hell of a feat. I'd be so happy if I got 10 boyfriends in 6 months. Not saying that I would want 10 boyfriends in 6 months, but yeah, that's just wrong. Why is one gender considered a slut for having 10 people under their belt in 6 months and the other one's congratulated?
And it kind of relates to another topic, which is the whole men and women women are always objectified as objects. It kind of leads into that a bit when you think about it, because it's like, oh, women are considered as trophies now, because it's like, they're not trophies. They're living human beings, like just like anyone else. Like my friend Jodas here, she's a living human being, I'm a living human being, we're all living human beings here. We're all people who are equal, and that's just pretty much it. Like, you can't just say, like, a guy can't just be congratulated. Yeah, he got 10 girlfriends, but why is the girl considered a slut then? Like, if he did the exact same thing as she did, and exactly the same thing happened, and nothing else extra happened, why is this a thing? Anyways, that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, so anyways, we've been going through 7 different not dating, but guys and girls double standards, and we've talked about our opinions on them. Jodas, wouldn't you say that this was a pretty educational experience?
Educational, I guess. I mean, double standards are everywhere, but between men and women, why is it a thing? Double standards should not exist between men and women. Double standards between, like, literature or scientific knowledge can be a thing, but between men and women, we're all human beings. Why is it a thing. Anyways, on this end note, I guess this is bye from the Potato Overlord.
And this is bye from TechTrooper64. So this video will be posted on both of our channels, and hopefully YouTube won't have a problem with just us posting the exact same video file on 2 different accounts. But yeah, that's just it. If you want to go check out the 7 double standards that we talked about in this video, you can go in the link in the description below. I'll leave it there for anybody who is interested in going to see. And I'll also leave a link in the description for Potato Overlord's channel. You should go check her out. She's pretty interesting as a person. And yeah, so here's her outro.
Anyways, yeah, I guess I'll see you all in the next video, or recording, doesn't matter, video thing, I guess. Yeah, sure, let's say video. Anyways, bye now.
And don't forget to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.